Childhood trauma is so disorienting because by the time you wake up, half of your life is already gone. That's the hardest part. There's nothing you can do to get that time back. And that's what people don't understand. Imagine having your 20 to 40s gone because of abuse, and then you have people tell you to get over it. That's why it almost feels like a death. There's no amount of wishing or magical thinking that we can do to get that time back. And that acceptance is what most people struggle to come by. So what you might do is find yourself dissociating back to your childhood, and then you don't realize the time you still have to make new memories. It's as if the trauma from your childhood is never unending. And the funny part is we treat child abuse as if it's nothing, just another conversation we have. But maybe it's people can't handle the discomfort that it brings, because child abuse hollows you out from the inside. Leave a heart if this resonated with you and follow for more insights. And as always, you got this. People don't kill themselves because they want to die. They kill themselves because they want the pain to stop and they don't know how. And I think where we go wrong in this conversation is we say, don't kill yourself because so many will be hurt, which is true. But now you're making it about other people and silently dismissing that pain that person is in, saying you're responsible for other people's emotions, which is the last thing we want to be saying to someone who's in a crisis, because that shame you just created is just going to further snowball and grow the feelings of burdenness that they have. Instead, I think the conversation should be about validating the person's pain, because that person doesn't feel seen by anyone. And so if you can just sit with them and their pain, you will save a life. And I speak on the experience of being someone who was highly suicidal most of their childhood and even attempted it. So I know the thing that helped me the most is when someone was able to sit with my pain, not shame it, but just create space for it. Because now you're allowing that person to feel safe in a place where they haven't felt safe in a long time.
I opened up about being raped. People mocked me for it. The comments on that video proved exactly why men don't talk about this. People were asking whether I enjoyed it or if I came. Turning one of my most vulnerable moments into a joke like that, that's the problem. When something like that happens to a man, people minimize it. People mock it. They don't take it seriously. And then people wonder why nobody ever speaks up.
When a guy is sexually abused, it's laughable. And this is exactly why boys make perfect victims for their perpetrators, because who would believe them? Society wants you to believe that male sexual abuse is a rare occurrence, but let's not forget how over 82,000 boys were sexually assaulted in the Boy Scouts of America and how the press barely covered it. I think the hardest part about CPTSD is that you've been in pain for so long, it's hard to imagine a timeline where you won't be in pain. You tell yourself it'll get better, just keep going. But eventually it feels like a lie, because it never does. And the hard part is you don't have a time point where you can look back to and remember what good times felt like to get you through the bad ones. And even if you did have good memories, it just brings up so much grief because you want that feeling back so badly. Honestly, I wouldn't wish complex PTSD on anyone. Most people with complex PTSD are in chronic pain. And it's not that they get better, but they just get better at hiding it. Some of the kindest, most empathic people I've ever met are the ones living and suffering with it, and they don't deserve it. When you're really going through symptoms, it can feel like your soul is being set on fire, and sometimes there's no tool you can use to tame that fire. Complex PTSD isn't a terrible event. It's a terrible life.